So the big question is, how did we do? We'll figure that out here. Start off with, as I think most of you, if not all of you, know that this was a brand new site for us, or at least in recent memory. There were a few challenges that went along with that because we just weren't used to the area and so on. And a couple of things that we'll have to figure out for future. Initially, well, this wasn't a location thing. One of the beams that we had planned on using was MIA, so we ended up using a backup 2-element beam. That probably didn't hurt us too much, but it was something that we just had to make do with. Frick, did I word that okay?
Very well.
Friction with the astronomer. But basically, we kind of surprised, even though we got the permission from the astronomy club, and we got all the permission from everybody that we needed to get. We still had a little bit of, we surprised them basically. We came in there with, guns flaming and everything, and all kinds of cars and RVs showing up, and the guy's like, oh, wait a minute. So we got that sorted out in the end, I think. Unable to deploy the 160 end-fed half wave, I think that hurt us probably a little bit more because that took us down to just 2 wires. And the good news was that we had all of the stations in operation overnight pretty much the whole time, which was fantastic. I was very happy to see that. The bad news is when you've only got 2 wires and you've got 4 stations, that's kind of hurting you for overnight type, what you need for the dance. And it also took away a wire that was oriented to give us north-south propagation. So we'll have to rethink that for next year. Basically, I don't know, the brush was just too thick to get back there. That was the main issue, right, already? So maybe we can look a little bit harder, try to figure out a different place, or we could make like a horizontal loop, like a horizontal delta loop or something like that, possibly. Figure out something else, or just go with a different type of wire, possibly. But we don't expect to get a lot of contacts on 160, but I'd hate to just give it up.
And one thing we noticed, when we had been to the same location 3 weeks before that, all the vegetation was still about 2 feet shorter.
Yeah,
and it was because there was a snowpack on it.
Yeah.
And then as springtime came, everything sprung to life and sprung up 2 or 3 feet. And so things that we didn't see as a barrier 3 weeks earlier suddenly became that high.
Yeah, it's a learning experience. So, we've just got to assume that that's going to happen with any new location or whatever. We did put up a backup. Dustin came up to me. What time was that? At like midnight or 10?
No, it was
2?
after midnight.
After midnight?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dustin was trying to work 20 meters, and he got a little tired of that, and he said, Gary, did you say there was another antenna that we could use? I said, yeah, I mean, it's a hack, but an antenna is better than nothing. And so we went ahead, we put up a dipole, a ham stick dipole, basically, 40 meters, tuned it up, put it up. We only had it up about 15 feet. We didn't want to go too crazy with the height. And have another issue with something tumbling down on somebody or whatever. So we just went up 15 feet. And, I noticed, I noticed some of the antenna snobs like turning their nose up at the ham stick dipole. But you know what? From 2 in the morning or whatever, it was in pretty much continuous operation until the morning. And it was responsible for over 50 Qs. So, you know what? An antenna is better than no antenna. So that helped fill the gap with the loss of the 1 wire that we had hoped to use that on multiple stations because we were able to do that. We're still getting skunked on the whole satellite QSO thing, unfortunately. I think it was just mainly congestion for you, or were you having a problem?
I still couldn't hear.
Couldn't
It was still too weak. There's still too much noise. I got to set off away from everything else.
Okay.
try that next
I
year?
actually tried 2 passes at night. The first pass I was darn near successful on. I had a really good read on it. I could hear myself. I was getting responded to and so on. But try as I might, I said W6CK, Whiskey 6 Echo Kilo, and it would come back Whiskey 6 Echo Golf for some reason. And I couldn't get him off the golf. We tried 3 times, and 3 times is a lot on a satellite pass. It just, so we never got there. But the second time, because I didn't have my voice recorder with me, so here I am trying to remember all the details and everything, and that didn't go very well at 2 in the morning. I asked Dustin to listen to me the next time, and I just didn't, I never really got anything on that one. So I had it difficult the second time, but that first pass was really good. So anyway, dust was a big problem. Big problem, and I don't know, I guess the last slide will discuss, future. We want to continue to go there and so on. I don't want to get ahead of myself too much, but I consider dust to be a pretty major problem. There was dust in everything. We were blowing it off. Thank goodness UDA had a good air hose that we were able to hose most of the stuff off with dry air and so on. But still, I've still got dust on stuff that I need to go through, and it's been a couple weeks. Well, I've been busy too, but still. And we maxed out the porta potty. I think in the future, probably more than 1 porta potty is necessary. I got to thinking, we just had 1 porta potty last year at Nyack, but a lot of people were going across the street to the Burger King and so on, probably using the restroom over there. So with everybody not having a choice other than using the 1 porta potty, I think we pretty much killed it.
Didn't we pretty much fill it at the Winterfield Day as well?
We broke it.
I know we broke the permanent one, but we broke the porta.
They had broken it a couple weeks before too, so
Okay.
we broke it again.
So a couple of highlights. Great overnight participation. I was really, really happy to see that. Great job, guys, the ones that were overnighters. The educational activity I thought was great that Scott did. And it was airplane navigation and how that relates to radio and so on. There were several things that he brought up that I'd never heard of before. So it was very interesting. We had a couple DX contacts. I put Puerto Rico there because officially it's not DX, but it kind of is in my mind at least. I had a 135-mile 2-meter contact with somebody on a peak, 8,000-foot peak, and he was just using Baofeng. And he had an aftermarket antenna, but it was just a little, like a 19-inch long. I don't think he had a tiger tail. But it was just an 8-watt Baofeng, and he came through. It wasn't full quieting, but it was 90%. It was a very good signal. I was just blown away when he told me where he was. Looked it up on the map and tried to, because he didn't know what section he was in. He was like, "Oh, what's this field day thing? What's the section? I don't know what that is. Whatever." But so that was very interesting. I thought that was pretty cool. And 28 people made QSOs, which last year I think we were about 20. So that was a pretty big jump from last year. By the numbers, the yellow up at the top, let me get a couple of my little indicators out of the way. The yellow highlighted years, 2015, 2016, we ran 5 alpha. The other years shown there, we ran 4 alpha. So they were running another extra station for those years. And then down at the bottom, the 726 is in red because we ran it was a QRP that year. So the multiplier is 5 instead of 2 for the power level. So you see the 726 jump all the way up to 3630 there. We're in the final column there, and we had some really good numbers. 80-meter phone, over 200. And then all of the ones with the boxes, that's the biggest number for that particular category. So we've got, what, 6, 7 boxes just in this year alone, including the actual QSO points and total QSOs. Well, no, I had that wrong on total QSO. This should be 2015. But we're in second place there for the total QSOs. Boxed the wrong one on that one. These are summary of the operators and the number of QSOs for each operator. And that was just by, and there may be some variation here because I know we had control operators and we had initials designated the people that were actually on the mic. But this gives you an idea who did what. Dennis was at the top last year, right around 200. I think he just gets to up to 200 and then he just like, I'm going to take a break now or whatever. I don't know. But Dennis was up around the same point last year. He was on top last year as well. And the bonus category, we get this number of points over here in the column for these different things. And this is basically just a quick couple of words that correspond with the different things that they give us bonus points for. 100% emergency power, that's basically if you're not on the mains. So we were running on generators the whole time, and that qualifies to that. Media publicity, we sent out, hit the media, public location, public information, handouts, cards, sign-up sheet, and that kind of thing. Message to the section manager, that was put out through WinLink, and then message handling was 10 messages through WinLink as well. Didn't get the satellite QSO. Alternate power QSOs. I had the solar power up there, and I was running the 6 meter on, I had an amplifier for 2 meters, and the 2 meters, the amplifier, I was powering off the generator, but the rest of it was legitimately off battery that was powered with solar. We got served agency. You saw the police officer that was there. We didn't get an elected official. We got a pretty good copy on the W1AW bulletin. That comes through. One thing that came to mind with me is we should probably try to get a copy on CW on that in the future. Get a good CW person, or just record it, or do like CW skimmer or something like that, and try to pull it with CW as well. Because you made how many attempts? Like 2 or 3 at least.
3 attempts.
With different modes too, right? Yeah.
This is the first year.
It was a reasonable copy, but it just wasn't like 100% or anything.
In years past, you could get exactly.
Yeah.
This is the first year in like 3 years I've been doing this that we couldn't get at all.
Well, I wonder if there was something wrong with that West Coast station, because you didn't hear that at all, right? Yes.
Yeah, I think in the past, we used the East Coast station. I'm pretty sure we did.
And I've tried both. On Saturday, I only tried the West Coast station, but on Sunday, I tried both. And the Sunday one was the piece that we did get was from the East Coast.
Right.
But it was 2 weeks. So we get full copies.
We're going to claim it because most of it's there and it's recognizable and so on. Educational activity, got that. And youth participation, I'm very happy with that as well. We had 3 youth that made QSOs. One made quite a few, I think like 14 or something like that. Safety officer, social media was submission, but here's the big number. This was the top number with the bonus and the QSOs and so on. This was originally the top number, and that was the QRP year, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So this was our all-time best, at least in recorded history, back in 2012, the best performance that we've had, and that's fantastic. And that was overcoming a couple of challenges. So I was very happy to see that. If we had all the wires up and the beams up that we wanted to have up and so on, I think we would have done obviously much better. So to have this kind of performance from that, very, very pleased. Did we have fun?
Yeah.
Agreed? Did we learn? Those were a couple of the keys that we had that we wanted to accomplish, and we were definitely competitive. We'll have to see how we match up to everybody else in the section and so on, but I think we'll do well. Overall, I've got to give it a huge success. Next year, the questions are: does everybody agree that we stay there, give it another go, or the options are to go back to Nyack or try to find some other place? What do you guys think? Stay? Stay? Nobody's saying anything. Well, that's up for discussion. If somebody wants to talk about it offline or whatever, or through Groups.io or something, I think it's a good place. There's a couple things we need to iron out, but all things considered, I think it's a good place. That's it.
Right.
That's Brian.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the public turnout was up this year. And I found it very surprising. We saw so many faces that were not part of our club. And some of you who are giving the tours around, these people were finding us because of Scott listing us on Craigslist. They were doing a search on Facebook. And these people were purposely going out of their way rather than, what do I do for 5 minutes to stretch my legs while I gas up the car?
Right. They knew what they were coming to see.
Yeah.
That was the difference. Last year in Nyack, people had just kind of stumbled across the street, with a burger in their hand for Burger King or whatever, and just kind of see what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's fine too. Nothing wrong with that. But they definitely came with purpose this year.
We gave out 7 pins the first time HF contacts. So I thought that was really neat. Willie, I guess, was a contesting machine, is what I heard. That was our first scholarship. And then, of course, Talia, she sat down and was not afraid of the mic at all. And I don't know about you guys, but that was so cool to see people overcome their mic fright and just sit down, especially the kids. It was just so cool.
Any other questions, comments, anything? Yes, great.
The results compared to Al's analysis in terms of the bands and how does that missing antenna and those things, how did that correlate with what Al was seeing?
Well, one thing that I noticed is there was a lot of the 40 meter that was in the gray area, a lot of the 40 meter, and the time frame, I bet you, a lot of that I think is on that ham stick dipole. And we were probably just NBIS, so that probably was a little different for the vocab.
Yeah, well, there's something that went on there.
And for the new ops, can you say what NBIS is?
Near vertical incident skywave.
Well, just or a description.
Basically, we've got an antenna down low, and normally with 40 meters, it would go out a ways and it would hit the ionosphere at an angle where it would reflect back down at a distance. But if we've got the antenna down low, like we did, it mostly goes straight up or nearly straight up and then comes back a little bit closer. But we had some contacts out at distance on that antenna. We had Wisconsin. I think we had, didn't we have Hawaii? Wasn't that your first contact? Or was
On
Hawaii?
The first contact was Hawaii, but it was on 20.
Oh, it was on
That was
the,
the first
okay.
specific contact. And then there was only like 2 stations I could get. And
Gotcha.
that was when I decided to switch to 40 because I ran out of people to play with. So.
Yeah, but Wisconsin on 40 meters NBIS is, or a low antenna, that's pretty good. So I think that probably, you gotta factor that in.
I think you're right there. Lowering the antenna to get the local stuff, because all that was a W6.
Yeah.
And when you don't have the sunshine, you don't have the absorption.
Right.
So you're going up, hitting the ionosphere, and spreading out.
Right.
So that's an interesting observation.
Anything else? That's all I got. Thank you for your participation, everybody. It was a really good